I almost didn't visit Da Nang at all, and at this point, honestly, I'm starting to simply not trust the internet altogether. During my research of central Vietnam, I kept hearing the same thing. Fly into Da Nang, but stay in Hoi An. Or fly into Da Nang, but only spend around 1 day there. And you know what? Thank God I didn't listen. My name is Josh, and I'm a digital nomad who lives in a different country every single month. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 whole reasons. 4 reasons why I think, personally, skipping Da Nang is a mistake. And I have a feeling that by the end, you'll be adding a couple extra days for Da Nang to your central Vietnam itinerary. Da Nang is probably most well known for 2 things. The first are its beaches and beachfront resorts, and the second is a crazy amusement park called Sun World Ba Na Hills. It features this big famous hand bridge thing called the Golden Bridge, and basically it's like the iconic image of Da Nang. And you know what is so crazy about everything I just said? Well, firstly, I'm not usually a big fan of beaches and resort towns. But what is even more crazy than that is that I didn't even visit Sun World Ba Na Hills while I was in Da Nang at all. So given the fact that Da Nang still managed to impress me after all that is pretty remarkable, if I do say so myself. Now let me be clear, while I did not strip down and lie naked in the sun or take part in any volleyball matches, I did at a minimum spend some time walking along Da Nang's main beach called Mai Ki Beach. And while it is still a beach, I can concede that as far as beaches go, this one is quite nice. The beach sort of runs along the city's edge. Very few of the large cities I've ever been to have a beach so truly integrated into its makeup. It almost reminds me a little bit of Rio de Janeiro, or Montevideo actually. You can be lying on the beach 1 minute and 10 minutes later, right in the heart of the business district. Additionally, there are so many great little shops and food stands all along the boardwalk. If you can believe it, I had one of my personal favorite banh mi in all of Vietnam right here at a tiny little beachside stand called Caribou Food Truck. I went here twice in just 2 days. Truly, it was that good. I ordered the cheese and chicken banh mi, and something about it was just legendary. Great cheese, great bread, great chicken, and along with this frozen matcha slushy drink, a cool breeze, and watching people fly high up into the air on these speedboat parachutes, I was feeling much more like a beach bum than I almost ever do. And yeah, that's saying something. I generally don't really like beaches, and I like this. So if you do like beaches, you should already be convinced. But if you're like me and seeing that gooey banh mi was more up your alley, oh honey, I am just getting started. Throughout my journey along the way, I've faced quite a few delays. It's an unfortunate reality of full-time travel, and while it's definitely inconvenient, it is important to be prepared in case something like that happens to you. Having an eSIM for cellular data is essential no matter where you're traveling. But what if you end up stuck somewhere on a long layover because of a flight delay you weren't expecting? You have a choice. You can choose to kill time trying to connect to the airport Wi-Fi, or if you're using an Olafly eSIM, you can make the most of the layover opportunity and get out of the airport and explore. So why the extra freedom and peace of mind? Because in addition to offering unlimited data, Olafly is launching Always On, a new benefit included with every eSIM, which gives their users an entire gigabyte of backup data that automatically activates every month, works from the moment you install your eSIM, and features global coverage. No extra action is needed, it's just ready to go in the times that you need it most. Get 5% off your own global or regional eSIM with code JOSHPAYNE at the link in the description, or by visiting eSIM.olafly.com. If you've been watching my previous Vietnam videos, then you know I made a whole meal out of the differences between the food in the north versus the food in the south. But you know what's actually insane? The food in the central region of the country is totally different and unique as well. It's genuinely hard to believe one country can have so many distinct culinary identities, and yet here we are. I mentioned quite a few of the local dishes in my video about Hoi An, and if you missed that or any of my previous Vietnam videos, the links are down in the description below. But even besides the Hoi An food specialties, there is an amazing dish I tried in Da Nang that is unlike anything that I have eaten anywhere else in the world. That dish is known as Banh Seo. It's a dish that you can find all over the country, but it's prepared in a very special way here. And if you're a foodie like me, honestly, this is reason enough to ignore the haters and to visit Da Nang for yourself. For this meal, I ventured to a Michelin Guide featured restaurant that is all the way in the back of a somewhat sketchy alleyway. It's called Banh Seo Sao Ba Zwung, and it's so famous that there are actually copycat restaurants all along the same alleyway that are trying to trick you to stop into them instead. Of course, I ordered the ban sao, and ban sao is this crispy rice sort of dish. Honestly, it looks very similar to an omelet, but it actually isn't anything like that at all. It has such a crunch, and it's filled with pork, or prawns, and onions and bean sprouts. I loved eating them. I actually loved everything about this. Okay, but hold up. Let's stop to check in real quick. So far, I've mentioned two things: the beaches and the local food, right? Okay, well, I am well aware that there are some of you out there, let's just call you, I don't know, fitness and adventure enthusiasts who don't really care about those two things, who I have yet to convince to visit Da Nang. Okay, fair enough, but just do me a favor and stand by, because also, I actually burned way more calories in Da Nang than I would have liked. You might look at me and go, there is no way that man can climb a mountain. Well, you might be right, but I can climb some very, very large mountainous hills, okay? I do it quite often, in fact, and I did it in Da Nang, along with several other very adventurous activities, all sort of in one place. If you're into adventure travel, or hiking, or fitness, or even just nature for that matter, Da Nang has something for you. It's called the Marble Mountains, and it really is super breathtaking. There is an elevator that will take you up the first small portion of the mountain, but generally speaking, after that you're walking up many, many stairs. Along the way, there are these incredible caverns sort of just around every corner. Multiple times I walked into one of these caverns thinking that I would just take a look around and then turn around and go back, but no, I kept following the tourists blindly as they just spelunked deeper and deeper into these caves. There are quite a few different paths you can take. It's sort of a choose your own adventure on the Marble Mountains. I wandered up a few staircases that led me to the top of various different rock formations, which was really neat. Looking down into the caves, it's super beautiful, and it's also kind of frightening. I loved it. And I don't know, call me the Energizer Bunny, because for whatever reason, I just decided to keep going up and up and up. Eventually, the stairways did end, and I actually reached one of the peaks known as Heaven's Gate. I was exhausted, I was sweaty, but it was probably one of the more rigorous overall hikes that I've ever done without any sort of guide whatsoever. I could make a whole video just about the Marble Mountains alone. There's so much to do and see and explore. It's really such a fantastic experience that kind of just checks all the boxes. As such, at this point, I'm pretty confident that I've convinced you that Da Nang is actually worth visiting and that the internet is wrong. But no, maybe not. Okay, perhaps you're most interested in cities and culture. Okay, you're hard to please, but fair enough. I have something for you too. I saved this one for last because honestly, it's my personal favorite part of Da Nang. The city itself and the culture surrounding it is really beautiful and totally fascinating. I mean, just look at one of its most famous pieces of architecture, the Dragon Bridge. The bridge sits on the Han River and effectively connects the two halves of Da Nang. There's actually a fire show that takes place at 9:00 p.m. on weekends that I was not able to see because my visit took place during the week. But even besides that, just seeing this thing at sunset and after nightfall was stunning. It's all so beautifully illuminated, especially reflecting against the water. I decided to view the sunset from the nearby Love Pier, also known as Lovelock Bridge. Now, my whole HOI AN video is about love and romance, so I'm not gonna get too mushy here. But just please know that visiting Lovelock Bridge with your partner at sunset is another must-do if you're visiting central Vietnam. Just, stunning. If your idea of culture is less about bridges and infrastructure and more about religion, then you have to visit the LINH Pagoda. It's a series of Buddhist temples on the outskirts of town, and they're really so stunning. The star of the show is easily the 67-meter tall Lady Buddha statue. You can even see this thing from down on Mikey Beach. It's almost like seeing the Christ the Redeemer statue from Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro. Aside from that, though, the temple complex is such a beautiful natural space. There are literally monkeys everywhere, you can't miss them. I even watched some of them climb up some trees and intentionally jump off the branches and splash into the pond below. It was so cute and so funny. I only had a couple days to spend in Da Nang, but man, they were a special couple of days. I easily could have spent a whole additional additional day if I wanted to see Da Nang's famous Ba Na Hills, and more days beyond that if I wanted to lounge on the beach, or spend time flying through the air in a parachute, or cuddling with Bae at a nearby beach resort. Suffice it to say, Da Nang deserves better, okay? Way better. I look forward to going back and exploring so much more of central Vietnam, but I can tell you for sure that when I do, I won't be skipping Da Nang. And I hope that if you're planning a trip for yourself, that you too give it the time that it deserves.